And welcome to the Internet Soapbox Podcast, the show where I eat two pieces of popcorn and get a kernel stuck between my teeth. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. I don't have kernels in my teeth.
Yeah, that's fair enough. So, our topic of discussion today comes from about, I would say, an hour and a half ago, because I take fucking years to get here. I was shaving right before I left my house to come to yours, and I was using one of the razors that I used when I went on vacation a while back, and I'm sitting there and I have a clean shave. I didn't cut my face. It's very close besides like one spot that I missed right here that's bugging me. And I'm looking at this razor. I was like, this razor has three fucking blades. And I'm looking down at my other one that has like, I think it's a five-bladed razor. And I'm just like, what the fuck are you doing there?
Sorry, I altered
No, I
the
was talking about the
microphone.
razor.
Oh.
Yeah. No, the razor, and I'm just like, it made me think about it. I was like, I got it. Today's episode is going to be about the times where you buy quote unquote premium products and they turn out to be more shit and inferior to a generic brand product. Like that always like astounds me. You ever had something like that happen?
To not get back into the Apple
God
argument,
damn it.
but besides that, I think the worst I've ever had was probably with webcams. Like not these ones, oddly enough, but back when webcams finally came into like their own, I had a webcam with my MacBook Pro, and I swear it's not an Apple thing, but the Apple camera stopped working. I swear this is not an Apple complaint, but I ended up because I couldn't get it fixed. Still not an Apple complaint. I ended up getting from a friend a little webcam I could put on my computer just for now, so I can use it for little projects I was running at the time, and it worked all right. And then I'm like, you know what? I don't want to really keep bothering people for webcams. I'm just gonna go get my own. Got a real like it wasn't that expensive, but it was definitely more money than I was willing to spend on a webcam. And I got it. I think this is when I was home, possibly. And I got a little webcam for it. And I'm like, okay, cool. So it was like a $50, $60 webcam. It's way more money I was gonna willing to spend on whatever webcam I was given. Piece of shit. Piece of absolute dog shit. And it was like, yeah, it's 30 frames a second. It's HD 720, which at the time was fine. And I'm like, is it? Is it 720? It's not. It's worse. It is so much worse. So yeah, no, I know that feel.
So I just got a new toy. It's one of those. I'm not going to use a brand name here. It might only be the only brand of these because it's the only brand I've heard of. But a generic uh, notebook that you take the notes, you can scan it into your computer. I have not tested this yet, and while we're talking about this, I'm going to draw something with my third grade level drawing skill, send it to him, and we're going to see how it turns out.
All right.
So on that topic of really bad products, I would say like it usually is the case where you buy something, that's a fifth of the price that you'd usually pay for something. It's usually junk. Like, have you ever accidentally bought something that like you bought and it was garbage? I remember I bought this one thing and it was a car mount and I bought it from, say it with me, wish.com.
Oh, that was your first mistake.
Yeah, and it worked all right. The only thing I didn't really like about it, because I had a Galaxy S7 at the time, and I had to take super glue, put a metal disc on the back of my phone, and then the magnet was really powerful, so it would just zoop to it like immediately, but at the cost of not being able to like wirelessly charge my phone. And this is when they first came out in like 2015, so didn't
Phone and
really have that
magnets.
yet.
Yeah, phone and magnets sounds like a great combination.
Oh yeah, and I ended up breaking the thing. Like I ended up just smashing it before I even, you know, the battery died. Where that would cause a battery issue, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I'd believe so.
So yeah, I just kind of smashed it, and I never knew if there was any terribly adverse effects. But yeah,
So while you're doing your drawing, I can't believe I didn't think about it. I'm staring at one right now. And I will use a brand name for this because I hope that they fix this. This chimes back to if I said it in the last one. Call out your own team. Uh, I have the Rog Chakram, I believe it's called, from Republic of Games. I don't think that's the name of the company actually, if I can remember it offhand. I know anyone who loves this company is probably screaming at the top of their lungs. Asus, Asus. They have a gaming mouse. It's wireless. It could also be wired. Uses USB C. Has this mouse is special not because it has little weights or you can change out the clicking mechanism to make it a little different, maybe quieter, maybe it clicks faster. I don't know. It doesn't matter. I didn't get it for that. I got it because it has an analog stick built into the mouse.
Oh, this shit.
Oh yeah, I got it because I wanted to try to kind of slowly get away from the hybrid I was using by using a different hybrid. So, more of the same. Um, Turns out there are no fucking games out there that can use the controller on the mouse.
Not a one. And you would think big company like that would make some big brain decisions and be like, oh yeah, this is a bad idea or this is a good idea and it would be right, but who knows? Maybe it's one of those things where it's like Apple, where it's like, oh, they think of it before it even happens. Like with the fucking one
So,
thing.
so here's the thing. This isn't the first mouse to do it. Other mice do it, but theirs are always up, down, left, right. They're not full analog, which fair enough. They decided to do the very first one that has analog control. Um, I will say that the software that comes with it is fantastic. I love it. I can change the colors and everything. It's great. For $160, I would fucking hope that the selling point on this would be the stick works with games and not just with Steam, and barely. I tried playing Halo with it. No, you can't because once again, when you play the game, it thinks you're using a controller when you like hit the stick. But then when you move the mouse, it starts using keyboard controls again. So then all your stuff that you're using the stick goes away. So now you can't move because you're constantly going between the two systems. It makes no sense. So why even bother having the goddamn thing on it? I mean, I still use it. I paid the money. I'm gonna use it. Um, I
Actually, this sorry to interrupt you.
no,
I
it's
just
fine.
sent the document to you in Discord actually. I didn't think it would let me do that. If it'll tell you what file extension it is. Okay,
It's beautiful.
for those who can't see it and it's probably never going to be posted anywhere, I just drew a giant fucking dick.
You mind if I take a shot at it while you tell a story?
Yeah,
So I
let
can
me
do.
let me show you how to clean it real quick.
Oh, we
So,
have to clean it.
oh yeah, but it's very easy. You see I have this microfiber towel here, right? I'm the
Okay.
fucking ShamWow guy. I put a little water on it and
He's just.
it's gonna
wiping
take
it
a while,
down.
but pretend I got done, and it's ready for another use. I'll be right back. I'm gonna.
All right. So while you're doing, I'm gonna finish this little story. Um. So yeah. Asus, get your shit together. Um. So I now have it set that the analog stick is now in direct like a D-pad mode, so now it works up, down, left, right, like all the other mice. So I don't know what the $160 was for. Like, I would say it's a $90 mouse. Fair enough. Wouldn't you think? $90 mouse.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like that seems fine. $160. I'm like, okay, that's worth it just to have the analog stick that I can change between modes and no, no, not even worth it. The only reason I didn't return it is because it's overall a good mouse. Like, I'm shitting on them, but the mouse itself is pretty good. But just Asus, get your shit together. So yeah. So now I'm gonna have my shot at it.
I have to get you the pen first,
All right.
and this uses the that brand kind of pen,
Okay. Fine.
and you know,
Oh.
with any of those particular pens, I can buy those and use it with that. Do the same
Okay.
thing.
That's cool. So,
So-
it's a main brand pen, is what we're saying.
I was kind of worried about that because I was like, what are they going to sell these pens for like $50 fucking a piece? Like, but it's actually reasonable. Is it okay? It's working. Um, I can't really think of any stories myself. Like I just kind of was like, yeah, that's a good idea to do, and then I have no fucking stories. I would say, like, food is a really decent variety of that kind of thing because it's like, you buy some things you'll buy name brand, some things you buy store brand. They taste exactly the same because they're made in the same warehouse, like they're made in the same area as it. So, they just get packaged with a different packaging. One of the things I will never buy generic name brand is sodas. Sodas are the worst name brand, like our name brand store brand comparison. I don't know how to explain it. Like it might just be I don't know what it is, but I remember my mom getting me like Dr. Thunder like sodas or stuff like like store brand crap, and I would get those, and doctor like my mom would have Dr. Peppers, and I remember specifically like stealing one of her Dr. Peppers because I didn't want the Dr. Thunder. Like I don't know, like it's really strange.
I never really cared for the sodas that were like off brand. That was never really my thing. I
They
was
taste chemicalier, if that makes
well,
sense.
I wouldn't say chemicalier, but more or less like I never really cared for it because like it always tasted off from like the original, and that's kind of what I was all about. Was like I like the original taste. Overall, like with going back to the topic of shit I buy and doesn't work out very well. Like I feel like I at least do enough research so I don't have to worry about it as much.
One of the things I do a lot, and it doesn't happen as much anymore, but it used to happen like consistently every time. If I got a new game or a new piece of hardware, I'd always manage to get the defective one. I'd always manage to get the one that just doesn't work correctly at all.
God, I can't do hands.
The first one is that I can think of is I bought Halo 3 ODST at launch. And with the ODST launch, let me double check real quick. All right, so we took a little break there, and I have a picture in my hand
I
that.
want you to describe it in detail.
Oh no, I don't like this.
Oh yeah.
It's a picture that Rich drew for me.
So no, what did you draw me?
I drew a dick.
It was very simple, just a dick.
And of course, this is probably going to be something insane. All right, so turning my phone. Okay, I see the scanning thing. He drew a picture of somebody with a penis in their mouth and a thumbs up sign.
I want a good description. Long hair, got a winky eye.
Yeah, the hair's curly, like the hair on the sack is curly, of course.
Yeah, that's important.
Okay,
it's veiny.
What I was talking about the Halo 3 discs, ODST discs, though, were so some copies of ODST had this issue with a defect, and I don't think there ever was an explanation for it. I'm kind of just scrolling through right now. I'm not seeing any like thing where Microsoft said they fucked up as per usual, but they claimed that the issue was not widespread, and honestly, I didn't really hear about anybody having this problem except for me until years later. I thought I just managed to get a defective one. And a lot of people, like through testing and stuff, said that it was possibly like due to old CD drives and DVD drives, which could be causing the problem. But that seems like I know, no. I'm not even gonna go that. Every single fucking Xbox I've owned, the 360 or the One have every single fucking one of them had disk drive errors.
Oh, of course.
So I can't really like say too much like, oh, my Xbox always worked great.
Oh, so to be fair now, since I went on a whole Apple rampage last time and I won't shut up about it, let's talk about Microsoft and the Xbox 360 for a moment.
What are they doing?
Oh, no, not what they're doing, what they did, and why I was very angry. And when they did the Xbox One, they at least upgraded it a bit. I used to fix 360s. I had a friend show me how, and I started fixing 360s, and the two things that bother me a lot. One, fucking thermal paste. That's when your system red rings during that age when they would fix it free. You want to know what the problem was?
Too little or too much?
Shitty
Ugh.
thermal paste. Cheap, shitty thermal paste. And it's clearly shitty because one, it is not. You're right. There isn't that much on it, and two, it globs on the edges, but there's none in the middle. And I'm like, what kind of liquidy bullshit did you put all over my goddamn Xbox? Two, another reason why red rings, your your Xbox overheats.
That's why
And
everybody would put the towels all around their Xbox and turn it on.
yeah, exactly. So your Xbox would overheat, and you want to know why? Because when you do a cooling system, there are many different ways where you can cool. The way that most people try to do it would be like, oh, we'll put like this aluminum heatsink in it, or oh, we'll put the fans that guide everything out. People at Microsoft decided, you know what would be great for heat? We'll take this plastic little funnel
No,
and we'll put it near the heat sinks, near, not on, near, and we'll just let the heat go towards the fans that way.
I never had a Xbox 360 red ring on me ever. So like, when I hear about people like, "Oh, I've been through 8 Xboxes," and I'm like, "Well, I broke my first one." So, the second one worked fine until I just got a 1. So, like,
Yeah,
okay. So I beat the thing with a hammer. My
that's
first
a
Xbox
great
360.
opening.
I beat it with a hammer. I don't fucking remember why. I was stupid as a kid, but I just was fucking around with it and I did that. I think it did something to it and I broke it. I was trying to do something specific and I broke the Xbox. And I think the disc tray was stuck and I think that's what it was. I was trying to hit it and see if I could get the disc out or something. Dude, I don't
With
know.
a hammer.
This was 12 years ago. I don't know. But anyways,
Gotta get the demons out.
I was trying to get Halo 4 out and
Yeah, the demons, right.
yeah.
I was right.
Wait,
Halo
no, it
4,
wasn't Halo 4.
Halo 4 was on Xbox 360.
Yeah, but it was a lot earlier than I'm remembering. Or either that or I'm just like, holy shit, it's 2020 and I refuse to believe that 2013 was 7 years ago. Um, but I just kind of hit it. And like there was a dent, I would say about 6 inches and about like, I'd say 2.5 inches like wide, like a
Mhm.
circle where I hit it. Thing was caved in, still powered on. It still read the disc. Like I was just like, what the fuck? Like I wonder how much this thing could take before it actually broke. And maybe one day I could buy one and test it out. But we'll see.
We'll just. I'll be right back. I got something to show, and I'll describe it on the mic. I just so happen to have one,
Oh,
and this one is still not working. So let me describe it onto the camera. So I'm gonna take the faceplate off. Which, by the way, when people say they're breaking into their Xbox, they're not wrong, because the way you have to get into it, faceplate pops off. You're able to do that.
oh yeah, I disassembled my first one. Like the thing is a plastic case, and there's like a war tank inside of it.
Oh yeah. Oh right. Pop off the top. By the way, just in college, I actually did a speech where you had to do an instructional. So I literally went in, brought an Xbox, and showed people how to fix their red ring in 10 minutes.
Field strip and Xbox.
You gotta field strip that Xbox. Gotta rip open that cage right there. Make sure you don't get rid of that chip. That's what controls your controllers. And if you rip that off, you get what my friend does. He had to plug in the controller for the rest of his life.
No
All
fucking way.
Yeah.
That's what happened to my old controller.
Yep, that's that whole chip right there, that controls that shit. If you bust that, you can't use anything wireless.
Well,
My friend
mine,
did that.
I must have frayed it or something, or I might have not damaged it that bad, because I could use controllers. I think that's the reason why I stopped using my old Xboxes, because it wouldn't connect to controllers. My mom still has my old Xbox at her old house. One day I'll get it and we'll see. But it would sometimes connect, sometimes it wouldn't. You'd have to pretty much like plug it in and like say a quick prayer, then unplug it.
Oh yeah. So here's the praying part for me. because I gotta get the clamshell off, and it's the hardest fucking thing you're gonna do without busting up your hands.
It's about so they only have like clips that'll like snap your fucking finger off right there.
Well, not right there.
It's just I remember one point where it's like I was doing it and
That's on the inside. Those are the X clips.
did
That's
I
another problem, Microsoft. What the fuck with the X clips? Really, Microsoft?
did I
Fucking
ever tell
really?
you about the time a laptop bit me?
No, tell while I'm trying to wrestle the alligator that's in my hands.
So one time I was my old laptop, you never saw it, but I broke it right before. Like I said, used to break things out of anger, now it's out of tradition. So I broke my old laptop 2 years ago. And that thing's hard drive was dead. I think it said it had like 50,000 bad sectors on it. Like it was an obscene amount of bad sectors. And I was told by somebody that they never dropped it, which I'm astounded if that's the case.
There we go. I broke it more, but that's fine. Continue.
But I was rooting around in one of her other laptops because she had like 5 or 6 different laptops that didn't work for whatever reason. But me, I was like, oh, hey, like, she said she got that like in 3 months it broke. I bet you that thing's hard drive's okay. So I'm taking apart this little shitty netbook. Like, it's like one of those ones that are like, how big would you say? Like maybe 8 inches?
8 to 9.
And I have it like I'm having to pry like the metal and stuff because I was just too fucking impatient to even take the time to take it apart. I actually still have the scar from this too. I'll show you in a second.
Speaking of impatient, I'll be right back. I'm gonna get the second Xbox that's a little easier to open. Continue your story.
So I'm standing there prying this apart, and one of my roommates come and ask me a question, and I look up, lose my grip on this laptop, and the thing goes right like the metal and the plastic just smash into my arm. And I will show you the scar real quick.
While he comes over here, I've gotten a second Xbox.
Oh, that one right there was one of the originals, like the core.
Yeah.
I could tell by the faceplate. Hold on, it's right there.
Oh, I see it.
Because I was sitting there like holding it open like this, and I was like, ugh.
Ugh, I would not be able to do that.
And I kind of stood up and held my arm like this, like the thing's on me, and my roommate was just looking at me like, what the fuck? And I'm like, I think I'm okay. Honestly, I was expecting to take the thing off my arm and start gushing blood at that point. Like, I was expecting some nasty, grody stuff.
Well, it's not fixing an Xbox unless you hurt something. There we go. Hope that was good for you guys at home hearing that snap. It wasn't for me. Okay. Almost there. God, why are Xbox so hard to open? Another thing, Microsoft. I know you don't want people messing with your shit, but come on.
That's your point.
Oh, here's another thing I hate. Wow, the last 2 episodes are gonna be very ranty. Microsoft puts these silver stickers. I'm showing Nate right here, right where the sensor is. If that rips, warranty's voided. And I hate those. I hate those so much.
You know there's ways to get rid of them, right? And put them back on? Like, there's a few different ways I've seen online.
I've seen it too, but that was well after I've already broken open every Xbox I've ever owned to make sure that I can get it to work properly. Fuck. I think I left all my screwdrivers downstairs.
Right, it's like, but shit. Like, I could have known about this 3-4 years ago.
Yeah. Man, when this was a problem, I really wish I knew about that. Because I would warn people before I'd open up their stuff. I still warn people before I open up their stuff. I avoid warranties. That's just who I am. I'm a duct tape fixer.
Yeah, I avoided my warranty on my Acer Nitro 5, like to clean the fans, and remember how I was like, oh my god, it's clean. All of like, I'd say an hour and a half, and it was just back to the way it was.
Funny about this entire thing of me struggling to open this goddamn thing up is the fact that I've opened both these Xboxes up numerous times to fix them, only to have to refix them. One of them was my ex's, which she left with me, and the other one is my friend Gino's, who I took from because instead of getting it fixed, he ended up just getting a new one. And I'm like, can can I get the old one? He's like, sure, you fix these, right? I'm like, yeah, I do. Even if I can't fix them, spare parts.
Which one's the more fucked up one? That's the real question.
This one.
Is that your ex's?
I think so. That one just wouldn't work, period. This one would work periodically, it just needed more thermal paste, and the first time I put thermal paste on it, I didn't do a good job with it. I was kind of rushing it. It's almost like I was impatient or something. Like I am now. Fuck, I'm just gonna go pick up and get a goddamn screwdriver.
I love how this turned into, like, just a casual conversation about inferior products to a complete fucking teardown of an Xbox 360.
That's my life. Ugh. That's absolutely my life. Start a normal conversation, and then it's like, hey, but don't you have Xboxes you can break open? I fucking can. I wish I had a camera. I wish I had a camera that's on. I can't say that while I'm looking at 3 fucking cameras.
Well, I don't know. I might snap a few pics on my phone and, like, send them to myself, or...
Fucking do it. Oh, God. I got it. Oh, it's opening. Oh, it's glorious. This yellow glow. Oh, I can hear all the Pulp Fiction sounds. Oh, fuck. All the screws are in. So, yeah, I'm going to stop tearing this down because I don't want to deal with that. So that's 2 Xboxes on my table. And that's not even the one I use. Like, the third one I wouldn't even bother opening because I still use that.
Well, probably here in a few minutes I'll go over there and take a good picture of your table right now if you want to lay everything out.
Real fucking nerdy. I got, like, open Xboxes. I have, a bunch of dice and some figurines, Pepsi, fucking DS.
Yeah, you'll see all of the, stuff that we get up to in this room. Like, it's not only just us. It's, a stream that we do for, like, D&D. There's another podcast that goes on in this room, a rival podcast that we're not going to mention.
Now, I wonder who does that. They must be assholes.
Do you want to, I don't care, you can plug it if you want.
I've already plugged in the last episode, and I'll plug it in this one later.
Right. But
it's
I'm trying to
Rogue, by the way.
Is there anything else that, like...
I do Let's Plays.
Yeah, Let's Plays. He'd also... Rogue. Wow.
Running Rogue, yeah.
There's a little pop for y'all if you know why I said Rogue. Yeah, Running Rogue. And... yeah, like, there's a lot of stuff that goes on in this room. This is but a small piece. A very small piece.
I don't know why I keep trying to fiddle with it. I literally can't get this open without the star screwdriver. But, yeah, no. I went to school for media production. I left with an associate's, and this is what I do with my life.
You know who's worse than Xbox? Nintendo.
I was afraid you were going to finish that statement. I can't say that because GameCube was so good.
Yeah, but, like, have you tried doing anything to any of their consoles? Considering if you try to mod a Switch, they just, they'll try to fucking brick it for you.
So here's the thing. Here's the counter argument. I don't have to get into a Switch. I have to get into an Xbox because they fucked it up. Nintendo at least got it right, even if they're a bunch of a-holes about modding. Not to say that any other company isn't a-holes about modding either. I'm looking at you, Sony.
What's that new Mario 3-in-1 game that's coming out? Because that'll be fun to talk about real quick.
Oh god, I'm actually excited about that. It's Mario 3D All-Stars, and I actually want it. Because I'm one of those people where, yeah, I can totally, if I really wanted to, I can fucking emulate at least 2 of those games. I also own at least 2 of those games on their respective consoles.
One of the things that bugs me about, like, Nintendo does things, and it's like the Patrick... it's like the Patrick quote. The inner machinations of my mind are an enigma.
That's fair.
Because this new game, like, they're only going to sell it for a limited time. They're only going to do all these things with it. It's like it's basically asking people to scalp their products. Like, and what it is like, they're going for that Disney Vault like
Mm-hmm.
model where they just like, oh yeah, like these games we have them for a limited time and then we're getting rid of them forever. We're locking them away in the vault again. Just all the boomers will go out and buy the limited edition Mario game. Mario game.
I don't think it's the boomers. I think it's the millennials who would do it. As a millennial, it would be the millennials who do it. I know a lot of people do it with Funko Pops. But at the same time, I find it funny that they do these things, yet they turn around and go like, "Why is everyone emulating my games? Why does everyone want to download our games illegally?" I don't know, Nintendo. Maybe if you released them regularly and kept them on your fucking store, I wouldn't fucking have to.
Because here's the thing, Nintendo's already shown that they can do the whole thing where, oh yeah, I take this game and like with the NES Classic, like there's literally they just downloaded ROMs from a fucking ROM site.
They
That's what they did.
literally did.
Do you remember how they shut down that Mario Battle Royale game?
Yeah.
And then they came out with their own Battle Royale game like 3 months later. Oh, that shit got me. I was like, you guys are just fucking angry. You didn't think about it first, and that's exactly what that is, Nintendo.
I respect Nintendo for what they did. I don't respect them for some of their business practices, especially with their we can only make so many things. No, Nintendo, you're just worried that your bottom line is going to go downhill when everyone realizes, oh, we don't need to buy a bunch of these fucking toys to play a game.
Artificial scarcity.
Yep. And I was on Nintendo's side at first. Because I'm like, oh, well, you can only make so many for the molds. I get that. Like, you could... But then when I looked into what they're doing with the market, I'm like, no, this is plans. Because you totally could do all the Super Smash Brothers forever. But they had a problem where, what if Luigi is unpopular and no one buys him? Now you have warehouses full of Luigi. Well, maybe if they were important for the game, people would get it. Instead of making it the most useless fucking add-on ever. More useless than Rob the Robot.
One of the biggest things, my biggest gripes with Nintendo is mainly the fan base. Like,
yeah.
We're getting into Pokemon, boys. Strap in.
Oof. Seatbelt. Okay.
So, with Nintendo and Pokemon in general, one of the biggest things that they like to do is if there is a fan game that's going on, it gets a lot of attention because it's doing something interesting, it's doing something different. It's almost like Nintendo gets mad and just like shuts down the project. It's like, yeah, I understand it's their property, but the fact that they basically do the same thing in the next iteration, it's just like, well, like, you were just angry, weren't you? Like,
I had someone actually yell at me because I clearly don't know what's good about Pokemon when I said, I just really want a Pokemon RPG that's more like a real RPG or like a sandbox. I want a fucking GTA style Pokemon game where it's open world, you can challenge gyms whenever, wherever. Some modders have actually made that a thing. And it's like I just want to be able to customize a character. And they got real close with Sun and Moon and almost closer with Sword and Shield. They still they're teasing it. It hurts. They're teasing it.
I don't mind the battle system. The battle system, I like turn-based stuff, so that doesn't bother me that much.
Well, that's a core mechanic. That's gotta kind of stay the way it is.
It's just the fact that I understand models are hard to make. I understand that there are, certain time constraints or so much manpower you can have, stuff like that.
As someone who does modeling, as someone who does 3D modeling, modeling isn't that difficult. Rigging is hard, but modeling isn't that difficult.
The one thing I can't defend is when they tell us, like, oh, it's going to be so hard to port all this shit in. It's going to be so hard to do this. It's going to be so hard to do that. And we have the same fucking models we've had since X and Y. That's one of the biggest gripes I have, actually.
That's not necessarily true. We don't have the same models. They do change some aspects of the models. It's just that they clearly were like, we have a defined style, and we're going to do this model, and this is good. Well, maybe plan around doing a model that can do more features and more articulated motion, but our models can't do that. Okay, cool, then make a model that can. But our models can't do that.
And there are tons of like hacked games and stuff like that, and like fan projects where Pokemon look more fucking alive than they do in the real games. I was born in the mid '90s. One of the A lot of people give Black and White so much unwarranted shit, and honestly, I liked Black and White. I like Black and White 2. I like Black and White 2 a little better because like all of the sprites had characters and stuff. Like it was very like it had like a bunch of frames of animation. Like the Pokemon do a little flourish in the middle of in the middle of the idle animation. It was fun. Like it felt like they were quote unquote alive
Hmm.
as a 2D sprite can feel, but they felt like they had character. And then we go to like X and Y where we have like T posing like Charizard, who's like his arms are just kind of there. No, he's flying. I can't really, but like just any generic Pokemon that nobody really gives a rat's ass about. It's just like a low effort like PlayStation 2 breathing animation of a
Yeah.
Pokemon. It's just like it's bad.
Fucking what? Who was it? Drowsy? Who's like with the fingers, and that's it. And it's like, oh wow, cool. I appreciate that. My favorite Pokemon.
Yeah, and I just realized this is the same content as episode 2, but oh well. Like
Fuck it. If you sit and listen to any podcast and don't expect like anyone to repeat, where are you from? What's the color of the sky in your world?
I mean, if you look at PokeTubers, they all do the same content constantly. So,
I mean, Pokemon does the same content
I mean,
constantly,
yeah, like it's formulaic. Cause
and I have no problem with that, really.
and Loxton and Noggin does some good stuff. Like I've seen his stuff, and like it's pretty good. I'm talking about. I'm not naming any names because I don't want bullshit and drama. I don't want to be like I can't believe you called this person not good, and I'm just like, well, I'm sorry, but
Well, I'm not good.
oh, I would just say that a lot of YouTubers kind of go into it, like PokeTubers and stuff. And yeah, they have like the My Team video, they have the, what's my favorite thing about each generation video. Because it's like if you come up with one video for one game, you can squirt out seven more videos for the same, like the each generation. And it's like, yeah, it's formulaic. Yeah, it provides a lot of content, but you got to remember that like Pokemon doesn't even create that much content to begin with, especially as of late, because it's yeah, they're going for the story bent now, but it's not like they're giving us deep lore or anything like that. They're not providing us with like absolutely spellbinding stories or anything
I
like
can see
that.
why you like Black and White.
Yeah, like because I feel like it had that same amount of Black and White had a good story. Black and White 2 had a good story. It also had probably one of the harder games I've ever played for Pokemon. Like it's like
Have you ever played Red or
yeah, I've
Blue?
played Red.
Those are very difficult.
It just
Have you fought Whitney?
Red and Blue aren't I kind of give Red and Blue a pass on the hard difficulty because there are so many things in that game that work. They're supposed to work a certain way, which do fucking not.
Yeah, no, you're right on that one.
That's why it's like I'm just like, Red and Blue don't really count because there's so many things. Like depending on what you know about those games, that game can be the hardest fucking game in the world, or that game can be the easiest game in the world. It all just depends on your knowledge of how they did their best. And we wouldn't have Pokemon if it wasn't for this now, but it was held together by match chicks.
Match chicks. All right.
It was held together by matchsticks, bubblegum, and wet dreams. Like it was just so ramshackled put together, but there was heart there, and that's what caught everyone was like the creativity. And honestly, I watched a video, I want to say it was by Tamashi, like an old school Pokemon YouTuber, where she was talking about the the hardness of Gold and Silver and like how it's one of the best games. And I was just like,
I agree.
I like Gen 2. Like it's like I'm on the fence. Like I think it's like tied for first with like a few other games. Like if like I don't can't put it down. I think it's 5. And like the remakes are a little better. They have more quality of life, but I'll send it to you later. But she has this whole video where she goes on about like this is my like take on it because you have so much, like, you have daily activities you're supposed to do. People will call you to challenge back. And she's like, well, people always complain about the fact of the level jump between blue and red, where it goes from like, maybe early 60s to like late 80s as far as the levels. It's like because you're supposed to come back to it. It's supposed to be like a Harvest Moon-esque kind of experience where you always go back, re-challenge your buddies, take like, challenge the Elite Four again. And it's like she was like, it's basically the most JRPG experience you could have in a Pokemon game. And ever since then, it's slowly dwindled to the game that we have now.
Infinite easy mode.
Yeah.
I mean, when I picked up what was it? Not Sword and Shield, Sun and Moon. I did a semi Nuzlocke because it was too easy. So I was like, okay, cool. I'm just no one faints. Period.
Uh, and that's one of the things. I don't remember the story of Sun and Moon. I don't remember the story of Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon.
Don't worry about it. It's. I mean, I thought, okay, I'm gonna. The 29-year-old's gonna start saying some weird shit. I thought that Sun and Moon was cute. I kind of liked the story and everything. It wasn't a good story, but it was cute and adorable, and I loved it.
Yeah, no, like I agree, but it's just like it didn't hit me the way the old ones did. And yeah, it was cute, but like back in my day, no, it just I don't know. It was forgettable for me. Like I just don't remember anything about Sword and Shield at all. Like I'm trying to think of the story. The main thing that sticks out to me is the music. The music was great,
Music was fantastic.
and it's just like I'm sitting here trying to dig in my mind to remember anything just besides characters and names. But I mean, the Bay's whole arc was kind of cool. It reminded me of Silver because it's like when I think his name's Bay or something like that. Like when he first walks out, I was just like, oh shit, like it's Silver. Is this Silver too? Like, is this guy gonna be an asshole towards me? Yes, like give me that. And then
A real rival.
they like he becomes like a little bit more like he grows into becoming a gym leader and the responsibility of it, but he still kind of has that attitude. And it's like that's the most character development we've had in like 5 fucking years from Game Freak. That's sad, but
I'm gonna be very controversial here and say that I thought Sun and Moon was a good game, and I thought that Sword and Shield was a good game. But that's because I'm not coming from someone who played Black and White. Let's start with that. So I never go to a Pokemon game for the story. But I'm also not jaded like the people who were in my generation who opened up with Red and Blue, and I started on Gold and Silver. I started with the best ones, in my opinion. And then I went backwards and played those, and I liked those, but like Gold and Silver was it, and Crystal version was the shit. And then I liked Ruby and Sapphire. I don't think there's a Pokemon game I've actually hated. Yeah, no, I don't think there's a Pokemon game. Okay, I have a love-hate relationship with Coliseum, but I'm not going to get into that. And Pokemon Go. That's another one I'm not going to get into because that's not the Pokemon company. That's Niantic. But like the games themselves were solid. They were fun. You can go from place to place. You son of a bitch. Opens up Pokemon Go.
I'm gonna check if there's any Pokemans outside your house.
Go ahead. Oh, not giving away where I work. It just so happened that our company, for all the regional stores, someone decided to come up with the theme for that week in the challenge. They did it after Pokemon, and my boss comes over the radio and goes like, "So apparently we're like Team Pikachu." I have no idea what Pokemon is, so I'm like, "Oh God."
It reminds me of the Danny DeVito thing. What the fuck is a Pikachu? Like I could. It's kind of shaped like Danny DeVito. That's mean. Anyways,
But yeah, no, fucking Sword and Shield is good, and so is Sun and Moon. They're charming games. They do what they do because they're for goddamn kids, and I hate to use that excuse. I really do because I don't think that's appropriate in any regard to say they're just children. They can deal with shit, but in this case, it's with children in mind. They keep the story simple. They keep everything straightforward. and they're fun. And also, you got to realize there's a cultural difference. So a lot of the things that we look at and be like, "That's weird. That's a cultural difference. That's whatever." I ignore that because that comes with the territory. But it's one of those things where everyone hates on like, "Oh, it's infinitely easy." I'm like, "Yeah, it's for kids," and like, not all kids, especially in the United States, not all kids want a challenge. I'm not even joking. That's a huge problem in the gaming industry.
That's so weird because like when I was a kid, I would look towards those games that were like, looked at as monoliths, like, oh man, that game's unbeatable. Timmy only got to level 3. I'd be like, I want to get to level 4. Like, I had that, like, and it's so weird that I guess it's kind of a roundabout thing with like just how our society is in general, where it's like kids just don't like competition anymore, and I guess I gotta kind of just be like, okay, that's fine. Like I'm not a kid, so I don't know what it's like growing up in this era now. So
Well, going into little gaming history, Final Fantasy didn't do well here when it first came out because, and as far as the Japanese market assumed, was that American audiences didn't like the weird challenge that Final Fantasy gave you, so they came up with their very own Final Fantasy for the U.S. It sucks. It's awful. It's absolutely the worst game ever. It's awful. I can't play it. It takes forever to level up. Anyone who likes Quest 64, you can go suck it because it's about the same problem. It takes forever to level, it takes forever to do jack shit, and the game pretty much plays itself for the most part.
I've played Final Fantasy 1 through 5. I haven't really played, like, I didn't finish 5. I haven't played 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11,
Are we talking about the
12.
American numbered or the Japanese
I'm
numbered?
talking Japanese.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
I've played Final Fantasy 4, which was 2 here. I
I don't
think. I don't
remember.
remember. It's such a weird
I think it's
way they
one
did
and
it.
two, skip three, four, five is then three here. I think. I don't know. Someone in the comments correct me. But I know that it's a weird numbers weird numbered thing. I don't know. It's dumb. They should have just named it five. They should have just named them after they were there because clearly it doesn't matter. None of those games connect in any way, shape, or form, except for X and X2 and
Final Fantasy 13, 13 2,
13.
and Lightning Returns.
Yeah, no, they're the only ones that connect.
Okay, so I have the information here. Final Fantasy 4 was Final Fantasy 2 here.
Oh, okay.
And Final Fantasy 6 was Final Fantasy 3. And then we started getting the regular releases like 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yes, I know 11's an MMO.
Seven's overrated. There, I fucking said it.
I've never played it. I want to eventually.
I played it. It's fun. It's overrated.
No, it's 12 that was the online, because
Nope,
14 is too.
not 12.
Really?
I own 12. It's 11.
MMOs.
I believe it was 11.
Yeah, it was 11, and it was. So I'm going to tell you something about 11.
Oh, I'm ready.
I bought Final Fantasy 11. I think it was 11 when it was on the console, when it was on Xbox 360. After I created an account and everything, I don't even know if I got to create an account. Like, I think I got it and the servers weren't live. So it's like, I think I missed that North American window to play it for like however long it was out. One of the. I was going to go back to this because I was thinking about it the whole time. I hate that they cut megas. I hate that they cut Mega Evolution.
Mm.
Like, I thought it was just such a cool mechanic, and it's just like, they completely get rid of it because, I don't know, they didn't like it. Like, technically, it could be counted as one of their generational oddities that they just, take in and play with around with for a generation, and then they dump it like a abandoned stepchild, like they did with Time. Don't forget that they removed time in between generations 2 and 3. Um, I wish Seasons would come back too. Seasons is a really like the seasons
I
of Black and White were really cool.
I kind of really like Time because you had that person every day of the week that you had to go fucking hunt down and get that special shit from. I kind of enjoyed that.
Yeah.
I think the reason they cut Time is because that's tied 100% to the battery, and
Yeah.
they learned their mistakes from Red and Blue and Gold and Silver.
Yeah. I want more fruit.
Go ahead. Whatever.
I'm a child.
We're talking about Pokemon. Yeah. Yeah, we are. Seriously, Microsoft, what the fuck about the 360?
Just a little quick thing I just thought about. So, did you know that Tesla has a competitor?
Is it Tesla?
The car brand Tesla has a competitor. Just take a wild fucking guess what their name is.
Is it Apple? Oh. Is it? I was about to say Einstein. Wrong one. Wrong fucking one. Is it Edison?
No.
Then it's wrong.
The competitor for the popular car manufacturer, Elon Musk, that guy, little known guy. The competitor for his company is Nikola. I'm not fucking with you.
I mean, that's just as dumb. I
was so angry because I was talking with my girlfriend. I was like, Nikola, like Nikola and Tesla, they're rivals. Oh, it's so stupid.
Self-hate.
I'm gonna look and see which company came first.
Actually, now that I think about it, I really hope it's the same company that made the cough drops. Nikola.
Shut the fuck up. All right, Tesla was founded by Elon Musk. No shit. Okay, it was founded in 2003. Wow.
So wait, he owned Tesla and Nikola? Oh, you're searching for the date of Tesla's start.
Nikola was founded in 2014. So that's like right when Tesla really started to become a thing, and they're like, "Hey, guess what? We're gonna do cars too." So
they're the asylum of car companies.
No, I made some decent money off them yesterday. Like their stock went up by like 20%, but nobody wants to hear about stocks.
Can we do a whole thing on stocks?
Yeah. I know I bored you to fucking death with it.
I don't care. You learn something new by hearing other people speak shit. So you know what? I'm down for that kind of stuff. You know what bores me? People who okay, so let's say you're in a class and it's the first day, and the teacher or the professor, whatever area you are in your education, and they go, "Hey, say your name and something interesting about yourself." And you get, "Oh, there's nothing interesting. I don't do anything." What kind of fucking boring person doesn't at least say, "I like TV. I like music." Be generic. That's fine.
I mean, to be fair, I was sitting there in my German class, and I was just like, when we first started, she's like, "Give us an interesting fact about yourself," and I was like, like I just like completely blanked while I was waiting for everyone else to answer. I'm like, shit. What's interesting about me? And I was like, I run a very small time podcast with me and my friends, and it's like I was just like, Jesus, is this all I'm becoming? Even though I only record it once a week and edit every 2 weeks.
I mean, I'm still sitting on a video I should have been editing a while ago. I'm sitting on a lot of videos I really should have edited a while ago, but one particular because I already reached the first 2 parts. But no, I absolutely hate when people can't come up with anything interesting about themselves. And you go down the line and the professor's trying to prod people. And I'm like, who's that fucking dull? Who are fucking these people who are that fucking dull? That's what confuses me. Who is so uninteresting that when asked, name something, anything that you like, you're like, I really don't like anything.
I like penis.
I mean, that's something. Hell, I would clap if someone just stood up and was like, yeah, I like penis.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like in college you could technically just do that and it'd be chill as long as the teacher wasn't too stuffy about that kind of stuff.
Like, I'd 100% be like, hey, you like sex? Cool. Wonderful. Next person. Hopefully they're just as interesting because you're the most interesting person right now because everyone else says, I don't know.
One of the most, like, it's just one of those things that didn't occur to me until it actually happened. Like, a teacher swore, or a professor swore in one of my classes, and I was like, oh shit, you can do that. That's right.
I've done that. Actually, in high school, I had teachers who allowed us to sit on top of the desks, and they're like, this is new freedom. This is insane. And then I get to college, and I'm like, no, I'm gonna sit I'm not sitting on the desk because it starts becoming immature and not in a you're so immature. But it starts becoming like why would I want to sit on the desk when I have a chair so I can work on the desk? Like, what was so cool about sitting on the desk that I had to do it every time I walked into my anthropology class? Like, it made no sense. Then again, I did stupid shit in school just to do it. Like, I used to bring in a deck of cards, and while everyone would think, oh, you would gamble, that's not fully true. I would actually build card houses before each period while waiting for everyone to show up because I was fucking bored, and I'm like, I'm gonna build card houses. One point, I brought in, I don't know if I said this on the podcast. I know I've told you the story. I got a Furby, and I put little. I didn't tell you the story. I told Dina and Hannah the story. I took a Furby. And
Did you make a long Furby?
That a what? No, I didn't make a long Furby.
Okay.
Furby was broken, doesn't speak anymore. I took paper balls and stuck it in the eyelids so it had a permanent, like, judgmental look on its face. And I carried it around. And when people ask what it is, like, oh, it's a judgmental Furby. It's judging you. Don't mind it. It minds you. And I had one person who I absolutely hated. God, I hope she's listening because I hate you.
Fuck you.
I really don't. But she basically, anything I said was a big fucking problem. And she was a problem for my friend. And she was just an unpleasant person to be around at all times. So I'm in class and I have the Furby down there. And I have it on the edge of the table. And every once in a while, I would slowly, when she wasn't looking, turn it a little bit more towards her and just continue working. This is art class, by the way, so I'm just drawing and whatever. And then she kind of, at one point, gets freaked out, but she doesn't know, and no one else really knows what's going on except for one person who's sitting behind her who's fucking dying the entire time. Because I'm playing it off. I'm like, I'll just every once in a while be like, turn, and then keep going. So you can't even notice I'm doing it until finally it's full on staring at her. And she starts screaming and tells the teacher, like, can you just get rid of that? Like, it's creeping me out. I'm like, what? It's like, you're Furby. Why is it looking at me? I'm like, I don't know. You bothering it?
You're an asshole.
You want to know asshole? I like chocolate milk. So one time I was trying to make chocolate milk in the morning before high school. And I ran out. It seems like I was running out of chocolate. Like, I was trying to pour it and it won't come out. So my dad gives me the idea, why don't you just put the milk in the chocolate bottle?
Oh, shit.
That was fucking brilliant.
This man's an innovator.
Shake it up. And then I'm like, I don't have enough time to drink this here. I'm taking it to school with me. So I would be in school every once in a while taking a swig out of the chocolate bottle. And no one would say a word until I was in like third period. And I'm just kind of casually every once in a while, cap off, take a swig, cap down. And
that's like the fucking like school equivalent of taking a swig from the flask. Like, holy shit.
No teachers gave a shit. None of them said anything. So at one point, my professor, I want to say this was in my my government class. I think it was my government class. Where he's like, I don't know what we were talking about. He's like, anyone have any questions? Kid in the front row just raised it. Yeah, I got one. Is he fucking drinking chocolate out of the bottle? To this day, I really wish I really wish I said, so what of it? Instead I said, it's chocolate milk in the bottle. Just straight face, it's just chocolate milk. Take a squirt. Tap on. Oh, I really wish I would so what of it?
You know what the adult version of that would be nowadays? Be like, I don't know, like making like Kool-Aid or something, like a blue colored Kool-Aid, putting in a fucking Windex bottle, walking around with it.
That'd be amazing.
Oh shit. How long have we been going on this?
So far, technically an hour and 8 minutes.
I think we're gonna call it here.
Woo!
That is another one, in the books.
Well, it's another one done. In the books, we'll find out as we've lost content.
We've lost one episode, but you guys are not missing anything on that.
I don't know if it's a loss as much as it's oh well, this was bad.
I at that time I had been going on about 26 hours of no sleep, and I just was sitting in this very spot, just looking at Rich, but not actually looking at him. Like, I remember I was looking at you, I was looking beyond you, like, not even like, I didn't even see you were there. I was just like, fucking good shit and piss and fucking cum, and I was just going off.
And I was letting it happen because it was funny. I liked it. Then listening back, I'm like, it's not as funny as I thought it was. It was funny in the moment. But hey, if you want to hear that episode, I still have it, and you're gonna have to ask and pay me a lot of money. So this is probably the point where we can just, if we haven't already, which I think I semi did, we plug everything.
All right, you wanna plug anything? Because I can't think of anything I want to plug besides the podcast, which we're here.
Hey, if you're listening to this, you should listen to this. It's an Internet Soapbox podcast.
If you like the Internet Soapbox podcast, you'll love the Internet Soapbox podcast.
I mean, yeah,
Very similar content.
almost exact same. It's almost like they ripped themselves off. But yeah. So I mean, we're recording in the Running Rogue studio, so that's my channel, Running Rogue. I do shitty Let's Plays. I'll also hopefully be doing a shitty tech show, and I have a shitty other podcast called Running Rogue. Clever. And then, of course, we are both in Chaotic Fails, which is also recorded in the same room. It's us doing D&D and being terrible at it and wonderful at the same time.
I always roll nat ones, but that's okay.
And Pocket Sand. Lots of Pocket Sand.
Pocket sand.
Right now, the only campaign that's up there, besides my Dread campaign, is Dina's mini campaign. But we do stream on Twitch every Sunday for Chaotic Fails. And I stream on Running Rogue when I fucking feel like it.
All right, I guess we will see you guys later. If you liked it, cool.
Cool.
All right, get out of here. The show's over.
Yeah, get out of here. We're done. Fuck off.